Op goes on Reddit to complain about the ring her fiancé proposed to her with. Reddit finds out she's a 19-year-old being groomed by a 32-year-old. Posted by u/thick journalist 901. He proposed today at his childhood home, and it was so sweet and so unexpected. I am really happy, but I hate this ring, not gonna lie. I don't know whether to tell him or not. He seems so proud of his choice, and I don't want to hurt his feelings. He's already a bit hurt because we called my parents to tell them about the engagement, and they low-key attacked him. We had not talked about rings, and I hadn't given him any hints, because we've been together for exactly 1 year today, and I never thought he would propose. But only last week, his brother got engaged, and I told him I loved simple, oval-cut rings. He seems to have ignored that. Should I keep my mouth shut or just tell him I hate the ring? Top/relevant comments. Commenter. Definitely talk to him. Maybe you could suggest shopping together for a new ring since this one isn't your style? Op's response. Thank you so much. That is exactly how I feel. I don't want to hurt him. I can't afford to buy a ring myself though. I'm 19 and still a student, so maybe I should keep my mouth shut? I know he can afford another ring, but I don't want to look like a spoiled brat. Commenter 2. Yeah, this looks like a K jeweler's ring. My brother-in-law just proposed with a similar ring from K, but it's not every woman's style. I hated my original ring too, you should tell him. I upgraded after the wedding, married 24 years. Op's response. It was exactly from K's. I'm so impressed by your LOL. The thing that gets me is that I told him just last week that I like simple rings, oval shape. We went out to help his brother with ring shopping. What I'm thinking is, if he was planning to propose to me, wouldn't he be taking notes? But I don't want to be critical either. I lost my mind over a bezel ring, oval cut, it was so simple and so beautiful, and I kept telling his brother that he should get that one. I'm probably overthinking all this. Then Up drops this in the comments. Thank you so much. Yes, I'm a little upset because we went to help his brother with ring shopping last week. I said so many times that I like oval-shaped, simple designs. If he had planned to propose to me, wouldn't he be taking notes? I don't want to be a spoiled brat, but this makes me a little sad. He has been a wonderful boyfriend this past year, no red flags about him. My parents are not thrilled because he is 32 and I am 19, so they never approved of this relationship. I think you're right though, I will tell him, and his reaction will show a lot. Commenter 3. Oh lordy. There's the red flag. No wonder your parents are upset. The two of you are at completely different life stages, and the quick proposal just makes the age gap more worrisome. Either he is just in a rush to get married to anyone, hence the generic ring that doesn't represent you at all, or he is moving quickly because he wants to nail you down before he shows his true colors. Please listen to your parents and ask yourself if you really want to spend the rest of your life with this man. Op's response. Thank you for commenting what you think. I am in love with him and he behaves wonderfully with me, which makes it hard to have doubts about his intentions. But now that I read all these comments, I have to be honest that you all are planting doubt in my mind. He did brush it off today when I told him that our engagement would have to be super long because I want to get to med school and finish before getting married. I haven't listened to my parents because they have a 10-year gap and have been happily married for 24 years, so it sounded a bit hypocritical of them. My heart is sinking right now. But thank you, I know you're coming from a place of concern. Commenter 4. Oh my god, 32 and 19? Dating for a year? I say this with love, when he shows you who he is, listen. You see how he knew exactly what you wanted and still gave you something radically different? That's him putting his convenience first. He likely already had this ring, heard you tell him what you liked, and said, this is good enough for her, because it was too much trouble to exchange it. Would you do that to him? It's not a sweater in the wrong color, it's a sentimental piece of jewelry that you're supposed to wear for life to symbolize your relationship. Do you want to symbolize a relationship with a man who doesn't think it's worth a minor inconvenience and maybe a little more money to make you happy? Op's response. My mom said these very same words, and I am freaking out right now. I ignored her because she and my dad have a 10-year age difference, so it actually made me angry that she was using different standards for me. But hearing the same words from a stranger is seriously freaking me out. Op explains how they met. I'm turning 20 in January, but yes, I was 18 when we got together. I actually approached him to ask about his experience. He is a medical resident at the hospital where I dream of working when I finish med school. I would not lie for him to protect his ego. I know our age gap is big. But the fact that I was the one to approach him, and the fact that all my friends adore him, has made me see no red flags. But I'm not dumb, even though I might be immature because of my age. When two people who are not related to one another tell you the same thing, there might be some truth to it. In this case, over 100 people who are not related are telling me the same thing. I am freaking out. I think I need to have a serious conversation with him, not even about the ring. The post was about the ring, but I don't even care about it anymore. I will talk to him about the long engagement tonight. I can't sleep if I don't. I'm just mustering the strength to do it. I love him so much, and the words I'm thinking of telling him might make it seem like I am accusing him of being a predator. Those are not light accusations. I am so afraid to lose him. Op talks about her schooling. Yes, I am in college. I am pre-med, planning to get into an MD/PhD program. That is my priority, and I don't want to get married. I told him I want a long engagement when he proposed today. He kind of brushed it off. I thought it was the emotion, but after reading all this, I want to talk to him about it again tonight. So, for the contraception, sorry if this is TMI, but he told me early on that he didn't want to use condoms and I should get the pill or an IUD. I got mad and told him that I don't have to do something that causes harm to my body just because he doesn't want to use condoms, and that he should get a vasectomy if he doesn't want to use condoms. He went and got one, and that was a super green flag for me. I would never drop out of school. I love him so much, but if he asks me that, I'm out. I have studied so hard, and I want to finish grad school and be independent. I wouldn't want to get married and depend on him financially. I will talk to him about it again tonight. I'm actually very upset now. I never thought that a post about disliking my ring would turn into so many people telling me to be careful. If everyone is saying it, it might be because there is something to be worried about here. I'm going to throw up. Op commenting 3 hours later. I am reading about grooming now, and I am getting more and more concerned with some of the signs. I think I am going to get sick. We had some champagne to celebrate today, and it was the first time ever I had alcohol. I am losing my mind a little bit. To another commenter. I read the first article that showed up on Google about love bombing, and I feel like he has done all of those things. I am losing my mind right now. Op commenting 5 days later. Sorry you broke up. I'm in the same boat, broke up with him this week after he proposed. Op commenting 1 day later. Thank you so much. We didn't end things because of the ring, despite my post being about not liking the ring. A lot of people in the comments of that post, and even more via messages, were reaching out to tell me to watch out and make sure he was okay with me going to medical school. They were worried because of our huge age gap. To be honest, I thought that everyone was overreacting, but all the messages still put me on edge, so I tried to talk to him about the long engagement and my career plans. The conversation did not go well at all. He is a doctor himself, but it seems like he didn't want that for me. I took some time to think about everything and came to my parents' house, and he freaked out. I would wake up to over 90 texts, missed calls, etc. My mom and my sister kept telling me that it was really odd that he reacted this way. He was very worried about me spending time at home. After several conversations and several things he did and said that I don't want to share here, I decided to break up. I'm still heartbroken and shaken, but I will not throw my life away for someone who doesn't want me to grow and have my own career. Additional info from Op. Thank you so much. He did treat me really well. I had a brief high school relationship before meeting him, and it was really bad. The guy I was dating constantly put me down, offended me, and was extremely jealous. The relationship lasted only a few weeks, but it was enough to mess with my confidence and mental health. When I met him, I thought he was such a mature person, a real man, and I was convinced he wasn't going to make me deal with high school BS. And he didn't. He never raised his voice to me or said anything openly offensive. He was attentive, always bringing me flowers and organizing grown-up hangouts for us. We traveled a lot, and he was my first for so many things. He taught me a lot. I still love him, and thinking about all this makes me very sad. But I can see now that he was extremely nice for as long as I was doing everything he said, and he had no interest in seeing me grow and become my own person. It breaks my heart, but I can't change things. Some of my friends have been really critical, hands down nasty if we want to be real, and are telling me that it's wrong I didn't want to work at the relationship, and that every relationship will need some work. I agree, but I don't think this is something that can be solved with talking. I can't talk him into wanting me to have a career, and he can't talk me into not wanting a career. Op commenting 18 days later. How did it go facing him? It was very bad, but I was lucky because he showed me his true colors and made it really easy for me. He slept with my friend to make me jealous and thought that I would be dumb enough to fall for that toxic crap. He started following me around and going from crying and saying he can't live without me and will die, to trying to pick fights and blaming me for ruining our lives. My sister called him and told him that she will call the hospital he works at and will post on all social media about how he is stalking a teenager. He stopped, and I have seen him twice more so far, just because we are in the same environment, but he hasn't bothered me and I haven't even looked at him. I'm still sad, but I am focusing on school and have been very busy working to pay my debts, so I haven't had much time to grieve. Up commenting 2 months later. Thanks. Yeah, very long story, but on top of not caring about what I wanted, the last straw was him freaking out when I left to be with my parents for a few days and think things over. He threatened to take pills because he didn't want to live without me, etc., extremely manipulative. It was rough, but I am lucky to have a very strong sister and I'm close with my mom. They helped me leave him and never look back. He is now dating one of my friends, ex-friend, who is also 20. This guy thinks he's DiCaprio, SMH. Final comments from Opus 5 months later. Op comments on the post, people who've called off wedding engagements, why didn't it work out? I ended my very short-lived engagement because of Reddit. I kid you not. I posted on engagement rings about hating my ring, and then people started asking questions about my relationship. After figuring out that he was much older than me, they made me understand I was being manipulated. It was mind-blowing. I received so many messages from concerned women in that sub that I could barely keep up. In the beginning, I thought everyone was exaggerating, but then I started reading stories and links they sent me and finding so much in common. I told him I needed some time to think, and he changed 180 degrees and made me realize what a freak he was. Haven't looked back, honestly. I'm applying for medical school and I am so happy I didn't stay with him. Op expands in comments. You are right. I think I internalized it so much that I was the one who approached him, because he would use it as an excuse every time someone side-eyed our relationship. He said it so many times and with so much conviction, as if he could have never wronged me since I approached him. Back then, I thought nothing of it, of course, but looking back now, I realize how ridiculous it sounds. I also used to repeat so much, to my sister, that he never stopped me from doing anything, he never asked me not to go out with friends, etc. However, he didn't need to say anything to stop me. He didn't need to ask. What he would do if I went out was become slightly cold for a few days. Not enough for me to ask what was wrong, but just enough for me to notice and feel extremely guilty. So slowly, I stopped doing stuff I liked, but somehow I never attributed it to him. And so much more. I am working through all of it in therapy. Op talks about the vasectomy and recaps the experience. Thank you so much. I know how it sounds to break up because of the internet, but it was absolutely the right decision. I didn't even tell him I wanted to break up. I just got this bad feeling after reading the messages and comments, and I brought up again wanting a long engagement because I am going to med school. His reaction was not good. He is a doctor, so he knows what it takes to go to med school. The other thing was that he had told me he got a vasectomy, but after many comments asking me if I saw proof, I asked him that night to see his medical records app. He was so defensive and started accusing me of ruining the best day of our lives, etc., etc. So with those two things, I decided I needed to be away to think for a few days. I told him I was going to my parents for a few days, and he snapped. I had never seen him that mad. Now, if you love someone and want to spend the rest of your life with them, what is the problem with them being with their parents for a few days? Huge red flag. I was messaging with someone on Reddit, keeping her updated on what was going on, and she suggested I not wait until the morning, but have my parents drive to come get me without telling him, just for safety. That's what I did. After that, he started texting me so much that at one point I had 96 messages within 1 hour. He first threatened me, then he threatened he would die without me, then he texted me that he took pills and was dying and it was my fault, which made me finally call him, only to realize that he was lying. Then he stalked me. Finally, he stopped because my sister threatened to go to his boss, his colleagues, the medical board, anyone who would listen. That worked. He cut contact immediately, and even when I've seen him a few times because I take some classes close to the hospital, he has, thank God, not approached me. All this just to tell you that I didn't just read the comments and break up with him, but Reddit was the motivation for me to start those conversations, and then his reaction caused the breakup. One final comment from Op. Thank you. I am okay. I wouldn't say that I'm happy yet, but I am doing a lot of steps in the right direction. I aced my MCAT and have everything else in order for the application, so I think I will get accepted into a very good med school. My health is going well, my parents and sister are doing okay, and I have a job that allows me to pay for therapy, which I really, really need. A lot of times I feel sad beyond comprehension, guilty that I put myself in that situation. Other times I feel anxious for no reason. For example, he conditioned me to answer the phone right away, so if I had any missed calls or texts, I would panic. Now, I still get anxious a lot of the time when I see a missed call. I know I logically shouldn't, but I do. I am way happier than I was, though, and mentally healthier. I know I will get there, it's just too soon. I am also purposefully not dating. I feel like I need to grow up first and work with myself and my feelings. However, a lot of my friends are slightly pressuring me about not acting like a young person and letting the best years of my life go to waste. Or they say that I am not over him yet, which couldn't be farther from the truth.